So a little while back, this fellow gave me a useful tip on getting a xenon globe, or just a noble gas filled globe off AliExpress. I'm pretty sure I did some searching around in the past, but it seems like as of recent, there's some pretty good options out there. And the one I actually got was this listing here on AliExpress. So there's 8.5 cm, 10 cm. Can't remember which one I got, but anyway, I got the Xenon one. There's quite a few different ones. You can actually see this guy's demonstrating the effects of them, right? So here goes argon. So apparently that's what produces those little orbs, as I was calling them, argon, right? And here go krypton. I think I've had a bulb with a good bit of that in there as well. But again, I just kind of like the neon, right? Sort of that purplish, bluish, metallic, bright, whitish, whatever the hell you want to call it. So basically, I just grabbed this guy. This circuit, I had a little bit of a smaller coil. I might not have needed to change this up, but I have just now changed up this primary winding. I probably should really put it back to where it was because it was tuned a little better. Right now, it's not running too great, but I wanted to widen the primary just so this could sort of like sit down on it a little better. So this is just a little first test. I realized I've got a handy dandy way to start these things. All right, so boom, I'm just going to use that to get it going. So I'm going to cut the lights down and see what that does. All right, so this is going to be at about 20 volts. I have to kickstart it. Actually, you can see that the biasing I've got on the gate is not quite right. You see kind of what it does there. It's kind of cool. See little baby orbs coming in there. So I'm going to just barely get it going like that and kickstart it. You can actually hear it quite a bit. But yeah, that sound right there, my first impression of really what that is that's that gate being overdriven. So that's why it actually makes that noise. But if I actually just kind of, oh, I lost it. So let me do that again. Get it going, kickstart it. Let's see if I can back the gate down just enough. Oh, I lost it again. So I might not be able to do it with this particular tuning. Oh, keep fucking it up. Matter of fact, let me bring it down to like 13 volts just to see, right? So that's 13. Get it going again. Okay, so at that lower voltage, still comes through pretty good. It's not quite as thick. Oh, it's kind of wigging out there. So yeah, it's not as loud now, and it was a little bit easier to go out. So we put it back at 20. Ran pretty good at 20. Yeah, I haven't really figured out the rhyme and reason to it. Like now it sort of wants to be stationary, slightly moving. Before it was kind of rocking back and forth. But yeah, this is a very nice globe. Oops, I dropped my support tape. Yeah, the person who made this did a nice job. It's a very thick globe. Doesn't feel like it'd be easy to break. It looks like they've got a good gas mixture in there. Back the gate down ever so slightly. Turn it up a little bit. So yeah, it takes really fine tuning there, but yeah, I could sort of adjust how that thing's running by just playing with the bias here. And now it wants to go back to sort of waving around. Yeah, that's pulling about 50 watts though. So I'm gonna have to play around with the tuning, you know, really just try to get one of these built catered for this purpose. Um, but again, you know, what the only reason I really modified this to begin with because I felt like I couldn't easily get it going, and then it just occurred to me. I was like, oh duh, I got a fucking Tesla coil gun. I'll just use that and I can kickstart it. So this might have ran better how I originally had this set up with the smaller diameter primary. You know, this doesn't work too bad. It's pretty cool. So I'd say like that's pretty much the effect I was looking for, right? Um, the only thing is I'm not sure how well this thing's gonna run for really long periods. Which looks about this is about 15 megahertz. Tell you what, the it's getting pretty warm too. Yeah, so basically just that short little bit of runtime now. This thing is not too hot to hold, but it's getting pretty warm. Not real sure how that could be avoided. I mean, that you know that donut in there, I would imagine is pretty damn hot. So I don't know. Maybe some type of cooling, a little bit of active cooling or something. I don't know. And this thing, yeah, it's not like hot, but I can feel it warming up to the point where you know if I tried to run this thing for like an hour or something, just leave it sitting there, it's probably not going to work out. So I would have to tune it better. But yeah, again, that seems to work out pretty good. So I actually would highly recommend that vendor. Well, I don't know if it matters that there's voltage on this, but so if I just cut all the power off, just leave it in there, right? It's kind of you can kind of see what it does. It's actually chasing along that conductor there. All right. It's not going to do that, you know, if I just you know, set it down. It's the copper that's causing it to do that. All right, you can kind of see it hugging along that wire behind it. So yeah, it's kind of like you know, because of the shape, the general shape of the coil, it sort of wants to kind of snake around. I don't know, just maybe it's closing its own loop, and then now you got a fucking donut circuit, you know. But yeah, I'd say if you have a way to kickstart these, like some little Tesla coil like I just used, then I'd say this seems pretty easy to get them going. I don't know, maybe I just got lucky with this. If you don't have a way to kickstart it, I would imagine you're going to have to get your tuning pretty good, right? And then just kind of screw around with it till maybe you just get a little static excitation or something like that. But that didn't work for me, just kind of taking the original one and just screwing around, moving it around. You know, I had to kickstart it, so I don't know. We'll see how maybe like another iteration works out.